"What do you think of my throne room?" he asked her, curious about her response. "It is a fitting room for such a powerful and benevolent ruler, truly fitting for our Creator who rules us all." She spoke in reverence, without lifting up her head. "Come to me," he ordered her. Han watched as she gracefully rose and walked over to him. She looked like the embodiment of sensuality. His arms would probably break from him patting himself on the back so hard. As she stood in front of him, he was curious if she would react to sexual stimuli. Placing his hands on either side of her hips, he pulled her closer to him. With how submissive she was, he felt himself becoming aroused. He pictured Beth in his mind and felt anger rise up from deep within. How could she cheat on him like that? Picturing how much she enjoyed fucking Sam made Han want to prove something. Leaning back on his throne, he looked at Helania and commanded, "Remove your clothing." Helania's breathing became faster, as he could see that she was becoming turned on. The way she was beginning to remove the maid outfit made him think that there was nothing comparable on Earth. Even porn was nothing like what he was watching. The way her breasts slightly bounced and jiggled after being released from the restraining outfit. Her hips slightly tilted to allow the outfit to fall to her feet. Leaning forward, Han had his hands glide up her thighs. He could feel how supple they were, with a slight firmness from the muscle underneath it. The muscle seemed to ripple under his hands as Helania shifted her weight. Han moved to kiss her flat stomach, tasting her skin on his lips. After enjoying Helania, both of them ended up sitting on the throne. "You did such a great job, my beautiful creation," Han whispered into her ear. She moaned in pleasure and cuddled into him. They both sat on top of his throne, basking in the afterglow. From how happy he felt, a part of him realized that this was the needed therapy to get over what Beth did to him. A part of him just wanted to sit there forever and enjoy the moment. But another part of him wanted to see what the kingdom looked like, the one they were currently in. Deciding to wait until after he rested for a bit, he leaned his head on Helania's and went to sleep, a smile on his face. When he woke up from his nap, he noticed Helania looking at him. Her expression looked adorable, the way she was smiling and probably remembering how intense they were. The way she was loyal and devoted to him made himself happy. For the first time in his life, he didn't need to worry about those he loved and cherished betraying him. Han was incredibly thankful for gaining this ability. "Helania, you will summon all of the floor protectors to appear in front of me," he ordered her. "Your will shall be done," she answered. Opening up her own personal menu, Helania began alerting each of the floor protectors to appear in the throne room. Shortly after, the doors to the throne room opened, announcing the arrival of his floor protectors. It seemed like somehow they already began ordering themselves, with Queen leading them. Their order seemed to be based on Queen being first, Anaklis being second, Eurasia being third, and Minatoria being last. Though he didn't specify which sister was the older, it seemed like the oldest sister title went to Anaklis. They gracefully approached him and lined up opposite Helania, who had gotten up and went back to original position on the red carpet. All of them had knelt in front of him and were waiting his orders. "My beautiful creations, my floor protectors, I wish to impart my desires onto you," he told them in a commanding tone. "Your desires are our reason for existing, Master," they answered. Nodding his head at their discipline, he said, "You four were created to protect our magnificent stronghold. Each of you will report to Helania, who shall be in charge of all of you. I shall soon be going out to explore the rest of this world." Hearing that he would be leaving the stronghold, All of them, including Helania, began to object. "Master, please, you must not leave this paradise," Queen implored, her face looking distressed. "Yes, Master, I agree with Queen," Helania spoke up, pleading with him. The rest of the protectors also nodded their heads to signal their agreement. The way they feared for his safety really helped to mend his broken heart. Even his best friends didn't show this much concern for him. "I will bring you with me, both Helania and Queen. The remainder of you will stay here and guard the stronghold. You all have the ability to communicate with me, regardless of where I am. This includes each of you to one another. Before I leave, I will be eating my meal, and while I am eating, I want each of you to create 10 minions that will work for you. If you need additional time, just let me know. These minions will be restricted to 80% of your current power, respectively. At the end of the day, you will lose the ability to create them, so I expect you to be completed with this assignment well before then. Since both Helania and Queen will be coming with me, you two will be given additional time once we return. Also, you will have the ability to entirely alter your floors to whatever you desire. You will be able to create new structures or whatever you feel is necessary. These skills will be permanently given to you unless I decide you do not require them anymore." He then signaled to Helania to dismiss them. They walked out of the throne room and off to complete their tasks. Looking at Helania, he alerted her. "You should also get ready for this journey. Let one of the waitresses know to bring me the dish I had a while ago. I found it to be very delicious. I will be in my chambers. Your chambers will be next to mine." He got off his throne and walked to the side of the throne room, where a doorway appeared. Entering into it, a long hallway looked similar to something at the Four Seasons in New York. He imagined the door on the left side, picturing the inside to be a luxurious suite. At the end of the hallway was a French door leading to his chambers. He pictured the room to look like the Ty Warner penthouse at the Four Seasons Hotel in New York City. The only difference was that he pictured a forest to be outside the windows instead of New York City. Entering his chambers, he was amazed at how picturesque it looked. Thanks to a friend, he had got to experience staying at this location a few times, which is also where he met Beth. He was at a bar hanging out with some friends when he saw her with her friends. She saw him looking at him and walked over to say hi, and they started to talk about themselves and the types of nerdy things they were into. As the bar was getting ready to close, she hinted that she wanted to spend some more time with him, so he invited her to his penthouse. When she walked in, Beth was blown away at how amazing everything looked, and she commented on how she felt like a movie star. He remembered them spending the rest of the night going at it like rabbits on the king-size bed. Seeing this room again did bring back some painful memories, but then he remembered how loved he was by his creations, which helped him to calm down. Going to the central area, he sat down on one of the many leather chairs and reclined back. As he was thinking about his past, he heard the sound of knocking and figured that it was the waitress bringing him his meal. Lifting a finger, he made the doors into his chamber open by themselves, allowing her to come in. Listening to the footsteps walking to the central area, Han saw that the waitress was the same one that had previously served him his meal. Since he randomly created all the supporting staff, though making sure that they were all women, he was pleasantly surprised to see that it was her again. After she had placed the bowl of noodles in front of him, she stepped back to wait until he was finished so she could collect the bowl. Looking at her, Han saw that she was very attractive. She wasn't voluptuous, but gave that feeling of being the kind of waitress you would want to flirt with and have a wild night in bed. Her breasts weren't as large as the protectors and Helania, but were of a decent size. Her outfit really helped in complementing her figure, letting him see her value. "Have you named yourself yet?" he casually asked after eating some of the noodles. No, master. I know that some of the other servants, waitresses, and chefs have given themselves names, but I decided to wait until I found an appropriate one, she answered while bowing her head. Continuing to eat his noodles, Han pondered about how she looked similar to the waitress at his favorite Asian restaurant. You'll be named Brittany. Also, you'll be my personal maid. Your duties will be to organize other maids to maintain my chambers, bring me my meals, and fulfill any other needs I require from you. You will also answer only to me, no one else, he commanded her. Brittany's face seemed to blossom with happiness from his new orders for her. Bowing her head, she answered, I will do all you require and offer up my body, heart, and soul to you, master. He continued to eat the remainder of the food while feeling a warm fuzzy feeling inside of his chest. Being a guy, it was always a nice feeling to have a beautiful woman make such a declaration to him. He guessed it may be slightly different, considering that she was created by him instead of being a naturally born human woman. It made him think of movies like Weird Science, where the characters create the perfect lady. This led him to think about how self-awareness is one of the main driving forces of being human, so it didn't really matter if she was naturally born or created. Getting up, feeling content from the delicious food, he told Brittany, Inform Helania that she should be waiting for me in the throne room. Aside for your duties, I will message you if I have any need of you. He cupped her cheek with his hand, feeling her smooth skin and the faint warmth from her blushing. Placing his hand on the back of her neck, he pulled her towards him and gave her a kiss. The way she received the kiss felt like she was welcoming it, and even began using her tongue. The two of them passionately kissed for several minutes before he pulled away and walked out of the room.